What if I tell you that today we're going to establish a Red Union of Vienna and Budapest? Because today we're going to form the Soviet Union of Austria, Hungary, Bohemia and etc. Yeah, building up the totalist Hungary is a serious decision. This is going to be a bloody massacre. And that's why you should put a like on this video. Without further ado, let us overthrow the Austro-Hungarian monarchy, and in order to do that, we need a strong army. Hungary in 1936, while German meddling in 1927 prevented the Hungarians from cementing their dominant position in the dual monarchy, the next Augsburg renegotiation should be the time when the whole of the crown's land of St. Stefan will finally be restored to the Magyar nation. We should hope so. Recently I have visited Budapest and I can tell you that it is an amazing city. Also I have visited Vienna and I can tell you that it is a great city as well. Excuse me, do you see Hungarian nationalism as a problem? Magyarsko shall rise once again, but this time without Vienna Schnitzel. Black Monday? What is Black Monday? We don't know English, only Magyarsko. Oh no, it looks like Hungarian pig is broken apart. While their doctrine is unlocked, the same can be said about the Hungarian fleet. But don't worry Brutus, one day we're going to unlock it. And we're going to fight for the Mediterranean Sea. Oh no, here comes the Great Trial, an invitation to the Augsburg. The Viennese government has invited us to renegotiate the Augsburg. Well, this happens every 10 years since 1867, when Hungary was put on the same level as Vienna. Relations have been sour since the last time our countries met at the table in 1927, when the men in Vienna tried to force us to accept the loss of Croatia. We shall see what comes of this. So the Great Trial is coming as other nations were invited at the Augsburg. Reportedly, Austria has sent for delegations from the other parts of the empire to take part in the Augsburg renegotiations of 1937. Prominent politicians have voted their opposition to such an Augsburg, calling it a political maneuver to give Austria the upper hand during the negotiations. Okay Austria, if you think so, just protesting is not enough. We shall not take part in such an Augsburg. This is a horrible decision. As this time, they're gonna divide Hungary even more. Slovakian nationalism, excuse me mountain general, but you are gonna become the Hungarian general. We're gonna put them down. Austria demands us to evacuate from Slovakia? Never. Oh, and it looks like Austria is broken apart, as a handsome man from Slovenia with a fantastic beard and mustache has finally uprised under the Illyrian rule. I have never seen him before, but I totally approve him. Yeah, Austria, we have heard this many times before. Enough parley. Sit down and rule Vienna instead of Budapest. Here we go boys. Schnitzel has declared war on the Mongols of Europe. I just hope that we're going to survive. Congratulations, we have come to the point where we need to decide who is going to be a new leader of Hungarian state. The moment we became independent from our former oppressor Austria, we needed a new leader for our government. Will it be István Bethlen, the famed statesman and dealmaker, or Mikhail, the liberal-minded scion of an illustrious aristocratic family? Or perhaps the Speranist Kaiserredux, leader of the popular Social Democrats. You know what, between all of these famous people, we're going to choose the Social Democrat Arpad. Greetings to a new democratic socialist government of an independent Hungary. So, reverse their vision. The social democratic way of thinking erroneously interranges the economic moderate with the political and social possible. Their belief in gradual socialization merely invites sabotage by bourgeoisie. The social democrats have played their part in the revolution, and for that we thank them, but they were but a stepping stone in the establishment of a dictatorship of the proletariat. This means that now, just in a few days after a successful revolution, we're saying goodbye to the social democrats and we're saying glory to the Magyar Kommunista Párt with Bela Kun as its leader. Yeah, we're the first independent government of Hungary since 1848. It has gone only 2 weeks since our oppression, and take a look at the front line. It looks pretty fine, and as you may see, West Ukraine has uprised as well, and technically we are allies with Lvov. So now the only thing we need to do is to crush Vienna Schnitzel and its allies. Hopefully the front line will be as stable as it is right now. Oh, and yeah, first things first, we need to solve the Black Money crisis as it affects Hungary insanely. Unemployment is skyrocketing, deflation is in Hungary's future, the people of Hungary are suffering greatly due to the capitalist mistakes and self-interest. If the Hungarian revolution is to survive, the government must handle Black Monday swiftly and decisively, especially if we want to make us peak survive this conflict. Oh, and it looks like totalists have assumed full control over the government. Well, then we're going to say glory to the Magyarska Kommunista Partia and Bela Kun, the leader of our beloved Red Hungary. Hungarian Socialist Republic is just the beginning of the entire rebuilding of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, as all of it is going to become my own property, I mean the newly reborn Austro-Hungarian Soviet Union. Because we are not a typical totalists. No, we are national totalists, and Hungary is in the first place for us. If usual totalists say workers of the world unite, then we say Hungarians of the world unite, because Hungary and Hungarians is the #1 priority for us. Yeah, we're technically some kind of national communists. Of course, not everything is going greatly for us, but I hope that we will solve all the problems we have in the nearest future. Oh man, take a look at this epic socialist placate. Matyas Rakosi, Red Star and Hungarian flag. Of course we will outlast them with such a heroes. Yes, we found them, our Mongolian roots are going to save us. Hordes of the East. We all know that Genghis Khan is living in the heart of each of Hungarian citizen. Those white traitors attack the government while we are fighting against the Schnitzel and its imperialism. We would definitely understand this counter-revolution if Hungary was at peace, because not everyone is glad with the socialist revolution. However, attacking the government while we are at a war with our beloved Schnitzel is a decision of a true traitor. In such a case, all the traitors must be punished without a mercy. West Ukraine has gained independence, which is pretty good for us, as now the front line with Austrian Schnitzel is even less than it was before. Administrative reorganization? Yeah, we shall say goodbye to social democrats and the rest of capitalists. With such a low stability and war support, the only thing we can and need to do is the red terror. We need to put those skulls into apple and cherry juice. Just don't ask me why I told you about the apple juice. You cannot make a revolution with silk gloves. The counter-revolutionary forces have collected in force, and if we are to fully crush the reactionaries, we must apply force boldly, decisively and completely. Should we fail, the revolution will be snuffed out like a candle in the wind. Onwards, comrades, for Hungary. Once I would like to tell you that the situation on the front line is nearly catastrophic, and then Austria asks for peace. Maybe that's because of the gigantic losses of their army, however we don't know the main reason, but still, If we deny it, the situation will be catastrophic and our regime will surely die. So if we want to build a strong and prosperous Hungary, of course we should sign a deal with the Austrians. We will tell that it was a true Hungarian triumph. Not only tell it, but it is de facto a Hungarian triumph, as we have succeeded and not a single piece of Hungarian land was given back to Austrians. We have survived even though they were almost standing at the outskirts of Budapest. Bye bye, Schnitzel, and get away with your forces from my territory. Without a doubt, that is the end for the Austrian monarchy. The revolution has succeeded and Hungary has survived, which means that now we are preparing for the second round, but this time we're gonna liberate the Austro-Hungarian Empire from the tyranny of Vienna and capitalism. Oh, and do not forget that we need to get back Croatia, as we are restoring the Greater Hungary. I won't lie if I tell you that this time surviving as the totalist Hungary was really hard, and if the war continued for a few more months, well, we would probably lose our capital and the revolution. However, it is what it is, and thank you so much for our bright victory, Austria, the State Protection Authority. Now I'm sure that brave Hungarian Red Soldier, along with Mateusz Rakosi, will defend Hungary. Just take a look at this brave Hungarian man. That's what a true masculinity looks like. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the current population of Hungary is almost 22 million of people. And by the end of this campaign, I want this number to rise up to 30 million of people. Alright boys, the time has come to organize a new party. We will call it a total collectivization. I'm sure that nothing wrong will happen while we do it. At least we'll have some fun while doing it, to say the least. Oh well, Ukraine has consumed my ally in face of West Ukraine. Excuse me, Ukrainians are sending the ultimatum for Transcarpathia and Dunk? Are you serious? You want me to accept it? Of course we're gonna refuse the offer. Come and get it if you want to. Now you definitely understand why we are surrounded with traitors, as every one of our neighbor wants to steal at least a single piece of our land. For example, Romanians want Transylvania, Ukrainians want Transcarpathian Ruthenia, Galicia wants it as well, Bohemia wants to liberate Slovakia, Austria wants to get some piece of their lands, Slovenia wants to get this piece, Croatia wants to get even more pieces of our state, and Serbia, they also want to get some pieces of our land. That's why I told you that we are surrounded with enemies. And if we surround us with puppets, all of the problems are gonna be solved. Centralized Budapest? Okay, it already sounds like a good idea, and just take a look at the effects. We will remove the widespread unemployment, which is going to insanely affect us, and we will also gain 4 civilian factories and some more space for building the infrastructure. Sure, that's an amazing idea. Just as Paris is the center for the world revolution, Budapest must become the center for the revolution in Hungary. In Budapest, the proletarian dictatorship must be firmly established, and the backing of the masses must be with us. Brutus, just take a look at my beloved pig, it isn't broken anymore. Wait a second, how did he manage to do this without informing me? Alright, never mind, it's time to get back to Transcarpathian Ruthenia. And what are you going to do now, Ukraine? All the bubbles are green, which means that our counteroffensive is coming pretty soon. Don't worry, Ukraine, this game can be played by both of us. I can also attack you. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Why the hell do I have to fight against Czechia? Get the hell out of my territory. Nothing is better in this game, especially for Hungary, than a new war for survival. Now, all of you, both Czechoslovakia and Ukraine, get the hell out from my territory once and for all. Otherwise, all of you are gonna be destroyed and immediately punished. So, together with Austrians and Galicians, the Czech rebellion is surely gonna be defeated. and after doing that, we're gonna conquer the entirety of Ukraine. Come on, you can do it. Just capture Prague. What are you going to say now, Ukraine? It looks like your troops in Transylvania aren't doing so well. Oh, finally, the Czech rebellion was defeated and we can take our lands back. I don't want to take a single piece of Czechia, just give me back my piece of Slovakia. Now the situation should become much better than it used to. Finally, here comes the total recovery of the Hungarian economy. At last, the capitalist disease known as the Black Monday has ceased to plague Hungary and her people. The people have been witness to the horrors brought by the capitalist system, and through great sacrifice, our nation has weathered this storm. And with that been done, we shall retake all of our lands back from Ukrainians. And here comes the first local counteroffensive on Ukrainian forces in hope to regain the mainlands of Hungary and then liberate Slovakia and Transcarpathian Ruthenia. With the total recovery of our economics, here comes the total recovery of Hungarian state. Now we shall start a full-scale offensive on Ukrainians, which will end up only in Kharkiv and Yuzivka. Congratulations, boys! The first encirclement of Ukrainian forces was successfully established. Now I understand why are Ukrainians withdrawing the troops from the front line, because take a look what is happening. Russian Republic is justifying the war goal against us. I mean, not against us, but probably against Ukrainians. Oh my god, so they are withdrawing all the troops from my territory and that's an amazing chance to take them down right here without giving them a chance to escape to Lvov. Of course, this chance has to be used at 100%. Do you want to live forever? Honestly, I wouldn't like to, however, I really want to get these buffs, so yeah, I'd like to. Ain't no way, the encirclement is going to be established. Yes, boys, yes, we did it. Bye-bye, Ukraine. All of your forces here in Transylvania are gonna be immediately destroyed. None of them are going to survive this death pool. Brudas, this is so freaking epic. This is one of the best encirclements I have ever formed. No, don't even try to escape the cauldron. Now you should feel it and enjoy it. Y'all wanted to conquer my land, now you have to suffer because of that. Okay, we've got a socialist revolution in Ukraine, probably because their regime has failed to conquer Hungary. Never mind, it won't stop me from entering Kiev and Kharkiv. Lots of small encirclement in a big encirclement. Dustish fantastisch. So, by attacking the socialist Ukraine, Russia has started the Second Weltkrieg, as Ukraine was guaranteed by the Germany. And somehow, now I'm fighting against Germans as well. Thank God I'm surrounded with the Neva Dragoons, because without them, I wouldn't survive this war. And now that's not an exaggeration, thank you so much for existing, Austria. So, any last words? Приятель. After liberating the last pieces of Transylvania, the time has come to enter the mainland Ukraine. The Red Army, the shield of Hungary. The army that has saved us from the Ukrainian and Czech occupation. The men of the Hungarian Red Army are recruited mainly from the volunteers of the Budapest proletariat. So-called Hungarian patriots and nationalists cannot be trusted within the military brass. They must be replaced by loyal partymen. The recruits must be educated, not only as soldiers, but as revolutionaries. Come on bro, it's time to join the Second Weltkrieg and punish those damn Germans. To put it into perspective, Ukraine has lost over 500,000 troops in the war against us. Just imagine that 500,000 of men died only to get Transcarpathian Ruthenia. That's not serious at all. Well, I'd like to divide Ukraine by Dnieper. The left bank of Dnieper goes to Russia and the right bank of Dnieper goes to me. So Ukraine was divided and that looks fair enough, as we've got a natural border with Russia. I mean, our new socialist Ukraine has a natural border with Russia. Of course, we're liberating a friendly Ukraine. So here comes a new Ukrainian People's Republic of Soviets. Oh, so we are continuing the Red Terror. This is fantastic. So the German front line is totally collapsing as our Communard Brudas from Paris are moving forward towards Dortmund, Hanover and then Berlin. I just hope that Schnitzel won't join this war before we destroy Schnitzel. Oh, so why don't we raise the popularity of the Communist Party? Let's start with the Communist Coalescence. By 1940, only the positive momentum has left out of our Red Revolution, and that fully explains why Hungarian Socialist Revolution was really needed. Alright, so Schnitzel has intervened into the Second Weltkrieg, and that's not good for us. Motor thinks that he can save his fellow Bruda from Berlin. However, nothing and no one can stop a Communard revolution throughout the world. Not even a sugary tasty strudel. Holy shit, just take a look how many forces are standing on the border with me. Germans are simply not happy because Austria didn't join a war against us. Excuse me, it's not a gay love, it's a true communard friendship. Only true communard can kiss his own comrade. Communism is not only an inevitable direction in which the Hegelian drive of mankind moves every living society, but also a shared feeling of brotherhood across people. No matter their background, the universal mankind shall overcome all differences and establish a truly progressive society. Yes, yes and yes. Each man in our state should kiss another man. Holy no! Russia declared war in Ukraine. However, bro, we can change it. We can exchange Ukraine for nothing. Please, just don't declare war on me. I don't want to fight with yet another great power. Why didn't you ask me about Ukraine, bro? Because if you asked me to give it, I would definitely give it to you. So next time, if you want to get something, just please make a good deal, so we can find some good words to speak with you. While on the other hand, now we can fully concentrate our forces on defeating Schnitzel. So you don't even want to annex Ukraine, and instead you have formed your own Ukraine. Okay, never mind. Okay, now I need to justify the war goal against Croatia. So the war goal against Croatia was finally justified, which means that invasion to Illyria is now inevitable. Just give us a few more days, so these troops are gonna be destroyed. The great trial of Croatians has finally started. The Hungarian Socialist Republic declared war on Illyria. We were proud to know you, but now the time has come to capture Zagreb and rule it just like we used to for centuries. Excuse me? Bulgaria? What the hell are you doing in this war? And why the hell Zveno is a totalist party? Never mind, it's just a typical Kaiserredux. Oh yes, finally, Austria, you did the right choice. You joined the war against Hungary. Just like a few years ago, we are fighting one by one, but this time you against me, but a powerful version. However, this time you seem to be pretty weak. We're taking big cities like Brno without any significant resistance. So tell me, how does it feel to lose the war, Strudel? Ironically, the situation is going way better on the Austrian front rather than on the front line with Illyria and Serbia. Expert the revolution? Excuse me, we're doing it right now. On 22nd of May 1940, Vienna was successfully liberated. Oh, here comes the first encirclement in the war against Austrians. Oh man, we're liberating fucking. On 30th of May 1940, fucking was successfully liberated. It looks like I'm in a pretty dangerous situation, however, without the risk, Austria won't be captured. At least it won't be occupied by the Hungarian forces. Excuse me, does anyone want to enter Sarajevo? Cause I really want to. Ah, my beloved Fiume. It looks like the Hungarian Socialist Republic has finally regained its access back to the sea. to the Adriatic Sea. Even though we don't really like Austrians in this universe, they didn't deserve to die like that, being pressured by both Russians, communards and us. It would be really nice if only we, Hungarians, defeated them and rebuilt our own Austro-Hungarian Empire, but this time a totalist Austro-Hungarian Empire. I just hope to liberate Austrians so we can live with them in peace and prosperity. Bye bye, Reichspakt. You did a big mistake when you decided to fight with us. Maybe we didn't do all the job in your collapse, however, we put our effort into capturing your territory. Alright boys, now we are dividing the German Kaiserreich. And it seems that I'm going to get nothing of it. However, not everything is lost for me, as it seems that I'm going to establish Bavaria. For all the job I did to collapse the Reichspakt, that seems to look fine. A pretty good compensation, I guess. There are only a few steps left to end up all the conflicts, including the full capture of Austria and Illyria. Ooh, revolutionary tribunals. I always liked tribunals. I think that Mr. Floppa would approve it. And take a look at this big chunk of Austria, which is now encircled. Sorry, Österreich, but you left me no choice except for destroying your troops. Oops, there is a hole on the front line and I think that we need to use it. What about the south of Germany? Of course, we will release a loyal South German state, also known as Bavarian. Take a look at its based flag, which reminds us of a based Hungarian flag, and take a look at a man with a fantastic beard and a mustache that is going to rule this state under the totalist rule. Yo, take a look at this. Sickle and Christ. What a based combination. Finally, the Austrian Empire has collapsed, and with that has collapsed Albania. You can see that it has actually collapsed a few days ago, though southern part of it is still ruled by Austrians. Nevertheless, all of this is going to be divided between me, Russians and communards, and the most victory points have we and Russians. As I see this situation, Russians are going to take Czechia and Galicia, and the rest of it is going to become mine. And just like I said, the Austrian lands were divided between us and Russians. Russians took Czechia and Galicia, while we annexed Austria, Illyria, Slovenia, Serbia, Albania, and some parts of Italy, you know, Liechtenstein, etc. However, do not forget that one country is still staying strong. And yeah, we're talking about Bulgarian Social Republic, so let's take it right here and right now, so Russians won't take a single piece of it. After so many events, terrors, etc., we can finally proclaim the true one, Red Hungary. The people rose and broke the chains of empire. Worker solidarity overcame petty nationalisms and sclerotic tradition. After Carpathia, after the river Isonzo, after the horrors of Caporetto, the glory of the people of Hungary won by their own lands shall never be denied. The triumph of the worker is at hand. Glory to totalist Hungary and Bela Kun. And we didn't forget about you, Romania. Nothing else, just business. I mean, spreading communism. Boys, take a look at that. Lots of Bulgarian divisions were encircled just in a few days, in Skopje and Vranje. In total, 13 divisions were encircled. That is truly insane. So, any last words? Bulgarian Social Republic? Why the hell this Russian man looks like Maxim Gorky? Now all the lands are captured and the time has come to divide them. Now, Serbians, you don't have access to the sea, however we Hungarians do, and take a look at it. It's a gigantic access to the sea. Now we're sure that none of our enemies would be able to make us retreat from the coastal area. What a familiar man is ruling a newly formed Albania. Oh yeah, that's the post-war borders of Austro-Hungarian Empire. And the only thing that is left to do is to crush Romania. You may ask me, why do we need to crush them? Because they still want to capture my Transylvania. And remember that Transylvania is a rightful part of Hungary, so yeah, the last enemy on our border shall be destroyed, as the rest of our enemies are already destroyed. Whoa, we can finally join the Third International, so let's do it, because one day Russians may try to attack us. However, now they won't be able to do that, as we are the rightful part of the Third International. And our sphere of influence is yet another guarantee of this stability. Yeah, Romania, you're really looking like a black spot on the map of Europe. And by the end of this year, the population of our newly formed Hungary has almost reached 31 million of people. That's a lot, to say the least. Now we shall integrate the former lands of the Crown of Saint Stephen. In 5 years since our campaign has begun, we have finally unlocked Magyar Haditengerestet. The dream of Hungarian fleet is finally restored. Alright, we will join the war against the Ottoman Empire, as I want to get some lands back for my beloved Bulgarians. Come on boys, now this is yours. Well, it doesn't look really fair, so the situation has to be changed at least a bit. Now that looks way more fair, as Bulgaria got all of its lands before 1914, which seems to be pretty fair. And the rest of it is yours, we agree with that. Bye bye, goofball. Okay, something went wrong with Bulgaria, so they can join this war. Never mind. We're going to destroy them only from Serbian and Hungarian territory. It won't stop us from defeating Romanians. Congratulations, now Romania is divided into two different parts, on the northern one and southern one. And Bucharest is already liberated. We're glad to see you in our team, Romanistan. Don't worry buddy, I'm not going to annex you, I'm going to liberate you. Yeah, you got me right. Even with Bessarabia and Bukovina. I'm not as bad and tyrannic as you thought I am. See, I did it just like I promised. And here is the new leader of Romania, Christian Rakovsky. And just in a month, all of Croatia is going to become my core state. However, the same can be said about Bosnia and Montenegro, but we don't really care about them, as in a decade they are going to become not only my core states, but the main territories of Hungaristan. I mean, the Socialist Republic of Hungary. Okay, I don't want to have any problem or conflict with you, so we will accept it. Oh yeah, bye bye French national state, glory to Commune of France. And finally, Hungary's revolution. What began as a revolution of national independence has evolved into a revolution of social conscience. The powerful have been ripped from their decadent nests, the church has been torn down, the feudal aristocracy is no more. We take Hungary back from the corrupt, the rich, the oppressors of generations, and we give it back to the people. Glory to Magyar Kommunista Part, and also glory to a greater Hungary. Who else except us could turn its former owner into its own puppet? Right, no one except a totalist Hungary. Surrounded by enemies, we managed to defeat all of them, and now we are surrounded only with our allies and the Russians. We still have to somehow live with them, but it is still better than being surrounded with traitors around you. We have also reached our goal in population numbers, and here are the core states of Hungary. Yeah, that looks pretty damn based. And don't worry about these states, they are gonna be incorporated as well, and lots of Hungarians are going to live here in the upcoming decades. You should definitely put a like on this video for such an epic Hungarian revanchism.